When you think of the ground beneath your feet, it probably feels rock solid, right? But here's the wild part. Earth's surface is actually a patchwork of gigantic plates, all slowly drifting around, bumping into each other, and sometimes getting into some serious trouble. Let me walk you through what happened off Russia's far eastern coast on July 30th, 2025. The Kamchatka Peninsula was just hit by a monster, an 8.8 magnitude earthquake. That's tied for the sixth strongest ever recorded and the biggest since the 2011 Tohoku quake in Japan. So, how does a quake like this even happen? It all comes down to plate tectonics. Picture this. Miles under the ocean, the Pacific plate, which is dense and heavy, is slowly sliding or subducting underneath the North American plate. This spot where they meet is called a subduction zone, and the Kamchatka region sits right on top of it. These zones are like giant underwater fault lines, and they're responsible for the biggest earthquakes on the planet. Over time, the plates push against each other, building up mind-boggling amounts of pressure. Eventually, something's got to give. When that happens, the plates suddenly burst, releasing all that energy in a burst. That's the earthquake, a massive one in this case. Because much of these faults are deep under the ocean, when they shift, they shove the seafloor up or down. This rapid movement displaces a massive amount of water, and that's how you get a tsunami. The Kamchatka quake generated tsunami waves over 13 feet high that slammed into Russia's coast. These waves raced across the Pacific, crashing into Hawaii, California, and Japan. In Hawaii, waves reached nearly 6 feet high, triggering evacuation sirens. One woman visiting Maui with her husband and children evacuated their cottage seeking higher ground. She said people panicked, which caused disorder and confusion. It was pure pandemonium, rushing against time to get to a higher elevation. Well, thanks to her awesome children and auntie, they found shelter in an overcrowded grocery store up the road. In Japan, almost 2 million people evacuated as a precaution. This is due to the Ring of Fire, a hot spot for earthquakes and volcanoes around the Pacific Ocean, responsible for the most powerful quakes ever recorded. Despite the quake's strength, damage in Kamchatka was minor. High-quality construction meant no fatalities, though there were some injuries and power outages. History reminds us of the real risks, like the 1952 tsunami that wiped out a town. Remember, a distant earthquake is more than just a news blip. It's the earth shifting with incredible force. Stay curious and stay safe. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video and gained insight from it, do me a huge favor. Please click the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it goes far in helping me to provide videos like this.